Hello, my dear folks, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, whoever listen or watch this show. I know I'm getting excited. You can tell that because it looks that we seems to have touched the core of the business, the core of the issue. Thanks to the fact that Mr. Greg Young, mayor of Yorba Linda City, has the concept, has the ability, has the 30 years of experiences with the private business. Now that he's running for a public seat, running for the assembly seat of California, I believe, like I said, quote unquote, you got to have the right man doing the right job.
Right.
So do we not choose the right man to do a good job? It depends on, well, how you judge with your eyes. Right now, we talk about transportation problem of California. And it looks to me, step by step, we came to a point blank, right? You need money. Without money, you can't do a thing, right? Now, when money is concerned, there had been so far only two ways. One, to tax people. Two, to sell the bonds, right? To tax people, you get the kickback, right? You get rebounds. To bond people, you are borrowing simply from your grandkids, right?
Right.
None of them are good ones.
Right.
So you're saying that there's a third way to get money, which is to get the private business involved. That I would like to. I'm all ears. Anyway,
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm all ears.
I love what you just said, Jack. You said tax people or you bond people. Bond people is just taxing them but charging interest as well, so you're charging more. The idea of privatizing is you're charging less.
Yeah.
Because private enterprise can do what government does but do it cheaper.
Yeah.
And that to me is really the key to the answer.
Exactly.
How much can we pass to private enterprise and let government be managers to make sure that they're being efficient? Because that would be the reason for passing it on.
So for that to come true, though, you have to promote to pass laws, right?
Right.
What do you think you can do as a first move?
The first move the first is to make sure that there's a culture of wanting to save money. I don't think that necessarily exists. I don't think people focus on what we've talked about, my top three focuses. I don't think people focus at knowing the absolute need to save money. Once money wins, right, you could be on the left, you could be on the right, but once you realize that money in the end is going to win, then you have to get a sharp pencil and make the
regardless you're on left or right, at the end of the day, you guys all have to capitulate to the fact that money talks.
At the end of the day, money wins. You got it.
Everybody has to bow to money. That's it.
Right.
Right. Now we're talking money. We are talking about, speaking of this devil, though, there's only two ways. There had been only two ways. Thank God you found the third way. Let's focus on the third way.
Okay,
all right.
good.
How can you develop your idea about getting money from the third way? That is so important to me. If I call anything so positive out of this show today, I found the third source of money.
Sure.
Right? So do Californians, so do my audience over there. So if California can get this man on the job, trying to promote what he thinks about the extra way to get money, though, problem resolved.
Okay, transportation goes hand in hand with infrastructure, right? I mean, it is a form of infrastructure. Let me tell you what we're doing at the city level. We have a very large shopping project for our city. It would be small for other cities, but for us, we call it our town center.
All right.
Now the property has some big steep hills in it, and so originally the plan is the city would fill the holes and put in the sewers and provide the roads, do all of that infrastructure. However, as we looked at our budget and found that we really couldn't afford to do all that.
We didn't have the money.
What did we do? We are contracting with private enterprise, a private developer, saying instead of selling you the property at this price with all of that work done, we will sell it to you at this price, let you do those improvements.
Provided you do this.
Knowing that for them to do that, they can do it cheaper than we can do it.
All right.
So that's part of the solution, I think, across the board, at all of our state levels. And it won't always work, but you look project by project, which projects can we assign to private enterprise, knowing that they can do it cheaper than we can.
Exactly. And that can be brought up, that whole concept, yeah, like can be brought up to the assembly to California to create some kind of laws to let the government do always a comparison. Can we do that? Like say, you probably, the government decides to build an extra golden bridge, for example, right? For the extra golden bridge, the estimation of a government doing it costs XYZ amount of dollars. And then with a law that forces the government to do a comparison with a bid, who will do it for less?
Who can do it cheaper?
Who would bid for less, right? There must be bidders come in with a better and better and better and better and better. Always the law makes the government choose the best one.
Sure, absolutely.
So do you think to create a law to limit the government to do a comparison will be a good way to go?
That is exactly, remember my top 3 priorities or my idea of government is that it is too controlling, too big and too expensive.
Too expensive.
Too big, too controlling, too expensive.
Yeah.
And so if we create laws that shrink the size of government, make them less controlling, so we can bid to the outside developer but not hold their hands, tie their hands on every single piece, then we will end up saving money. And the idea, Jack, of saving money isn't just to save money, it's because we have to appreciate that we don't have enough money. And as soon as we realize that we don't have enough money to fix all the potholes and keep traffic flowing, then we force ourselves to make those difficult decisions.
Yes. I'm still thinking about you're creating dollars by getting the private business involved, right?
Sure.
So with that into practice, if applied, you can take not only the pothole problems, right? You can start thinking about plan, design as you go projects.
Right. Great legislation passed this year.
Called it mean range, and you can start thinking about second golden bridge.
Sure.
So am I right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So that design build legislation that was passed this last year, what was good about it is that it sped the process up. And as you speed the process up and you eliminate needs to go back again and again and again, that saves money. And as we save money, we're able to now cover some of the deficit that we have.
Let's do a little check, diagnose about the California legislature situation.
Okay.
Do you think the concept that you represent will take a majority or minority of the concept within the legislature?
Well,
in other words, is that I'm going to find out how big your market will be of selling your concept.
Sure. Well, to sell your concept, you always have to have majority. But what is good about this recognition, it goes back to what you've said a couple different times, at the end, money wins. And so if you have a communicator who can go to both sides of the legislation and continue to focus them on the problem, financial problem that we have, and as they start to say, oh, let's go do this, and you just gently remind them, no, wait a minute, we're only funding 1/3 of our improvements to our roads. We have 2/3 that we have to figure out. If you continue to remind them of that, then you can achieve your majority. Let me phrase it this way.
And look, I like that part. By judging your statement, you sound like you would like to make more non-partisan approach.
Right.
Yeah. What's your partisanship by the way?
Republican.
You're a registered Republican.
Absolutely.
Yet you would like to make this a non-partisan issue.
Well, I think it is a nonpartisan issue.
Because this is a nonpartisan issue.
My friends who are Democrats and independents drive the same roads that I drive. This is a nonpartisan issue. And my 30 years worth of business, my 30 years worth of negotiation, it's not about partisanship, it's about having to actually achieve results.
Yeah. It's not instinct. It is your 30 years experience to tell you this is the way to do.
This is what works.
I see. All right, good, very good. Back to my audience, I give a little summary of this conversation today, this discussion. I call it very fruitful. Not only we laid down all the problem, but also we seem to have found the solution, which is based on the same cliche of money talks. And their question automatically kicks us back to where is the money? So money is there. We do have found out a third resource of money, that is the private business, to get their involvement into as many as possible our major business in the state of California.
Right.
So this concept stays with this great man, great friend of mine, Mr. Craig Young, mayor of Yorba Linda City, one of the most hopeful candidate of the assembly seat of the 55th district. So, and I would say to my audiences that in terms of election, you always try to pick up the right man for the right job. So be he the right man for the job or not, you make your own judgment. You all Californians, you know California business, you know how hungry we are about money, you know how we are suffering about those. At least one thing I can assure you, those bumpy road conditions caused by potholes. Anyway, you make your own decision. So the election day is mid-June or November 3rd?
June and November, both.
June,
right.
June in the midterm.
That's right.
And then
November
November the 3rd, right? Okay, very good. Make your own decision. So I thank you very much for watching the show. And to Mayor, thank you very much and good luck to you.
Thank you, Jack. Pleasure.
All right. You got my vote first.
Thank you very much.